Hello and welcome everyone. Today is the first session of our Python series, and today we are going to talk about Python, what exactly is it and what can we do with it. So the first question is, what is Python? Python is a popular programming language which was released in 1991. It can be used for web development, software development, mathematics, and system scripting. You may ask a question, what can Python do? So Python can be used on a server to create web applications. It can be used alongside software to create workflows. Python can connect to database systems. It can also read and modify files. It can be used to handle big data and perform complex mathematics, and so many more. So Python has a lot of usages, but in this course and in this series, we are going to focus on basic structures and basic concepts that are related to Python before you want to start learning about these topics. So for example, you want to learn web development. If you want to start that, you need to have a basic understanding of Python to be able to do so. So here we are starting a series that teaches everyone the basic concepts and the basic terminologies they need before starting to do so. So as I said, here we are not focusing on any specific usage of Python. We are focusing on Python's basics and concepts. Let's get started then. Alright, so to install Python, all you need to have is an internet connection and a browser. Let's open up our browsers then. Alright, so here I am at my browsers. If I search for Python, the first website that comes up is python.org. You can find the download section right here. If you press on it, it shows you the latest version of Python available. You have to go ahead and click on it, so the download would get us started. Let me start it with IDEs. Alright, let's wait for it to finish. Okay, the download is completely finished, so let's open it up then. If I open the installer up, I can see some boxes here. The first one is add Python exe to path. Do not forget to check this box because it is very, very important to do so. And if you don't do so, you may have a lot of problems or errors in the future. So don't forget to check that and press on install now. Let's wait for it to finish. Alright, so the setup was successful. Let's close this one. Now I want to check if I installed it completely correctly or no. So I can go ahead and open up CMD or terminal, or basically command prompt in Windows. If you go here and search for or type Python, if you get an answer like this that says Python version something, for you it might be different because you might be watching the videos in the future. So if you get an answer like this, Python, the version of Python, for me it is 3.12.2, it means that you have installed it correctly. If you don't get an answer like this, it means that there were some errors. Try reinstalling it and also check for that box that I told you. Do not forget to add Python exe to path. So here we are. The Python setup is complete. But what can we do here? What commands do we have? Let's go back to our presentation. Alright, so the first function that I want to talk about is the print function. It prints a message onto the screen. The print function prints the specified message to the screen or the standard output device. That's all it does. And it has a syntax. First, you write print. In the parentheses, you write a text. We have separator and end, which we are not going to focus on right now. So all you need to know is we add print, and in the parentheses, in double quotations, we add the text. So let's go back to CMD and do something with it. Alright, so here I am at CMD. Let's run the first command, print, open parentheses, double quotation, and let's write a name here and close it then. So here you can see in the terminal we have that name. So whatever you write in these two parentheses, you can get it in the terminal. And we add double or single quotations because these are text. So if you want to print out a number, you can do it without double quotations or single quotations. But a very important question comes up here. Isn't it a little bit hard to do so? For example, I type print with double T's. There's a typo here, right? And the system immediately gives me a feedback. We don't have print. Did you mean print with single T? Or for example, I wrote it with capital letters here. So these common problems are very likely to happen whenever you have thousands or hundreds of lines of code. So you may need something. You may need something that helps you out with writing these codes, which is called an IDE. Let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation to understand what exactly is an IDE. The question is, what is an IDE? IDE is an integrated development environment. An integrated development environment, or IDE, is a software application that helps programmers develop software code efficiently. It increases developers' productivity by combining capabilities such as software editing, building, testing, packaging in an easy-to-use application. Just as writers use text editors and accountants use spreadsheets, software developers use IDEs to make their job easier. But why exactly are these IDEs so important? First of all, they have coding automation. It means programming languages have rules for how statements must be structured. Because an IDE knows these rules, it contains many intelligent features for automatically writing or editing the source code. The second one is syntax highlighting. An IDE can format the written text by automatically making some words bold or italic, or by using font colors. These visual cues make the source code more readable and give instant feedback about accidental syntax errors. And the last one is debugging. Debugging is the process of fixing any bugs or errors that testing reveals. One of the biggest values of an IDE for debugging purposes is that you can step through the code line by line as it runs and inspect code behavior. IDE also integrates several debugging tools that highlight bugs caused by human error in real life, even as a developer is typing. So, as you may have already understood, IDEs are very important. But what IDEs do we have for Python? Let's talk about them. Alright, so if you come to your browsers and search for Python's IDEs, the Google suggests about 15 or 20 IDEs, different IDEs for you, like Atom, Pycharm, Visual Studio, and so on. But my suggestion is to use Pycharm. Why? Because Pycharm has two different versions. The first one is the Community Edition. The second one is the Professional Edition. The Professional Edition of Pycharm is paid. You have to pay money for it, and it is mostly for people who are coding for their life, as a job, as a profession. So for us, it is better to download the Community Edition because it is basically free and it has a lot of tools that can help us. So if you go to their websites and come to the download section, here you can see Pycharm Community Editions download link. So if you go ahead and press on that, it brings you to a website that starts the download. I have already downloaded it, so let's open it up. Okay, so here is Pycharm. Let's double click on it. It says welcome, next. If you want to change the location of installing the application, you can go ahead and do so. I don't have any intentions of that. Here we have a lot of boxes. The first one is to create a desktop shortcut, definitely. Second one, add bin folder to path. Guys, do not forget to select this is very important. The second one is add project. Add open folder as project. So whenever you see a folder, it suggests that you can download this folder as a Python project. And the last one is creating associations with .py file. So if you press on that, it means that it gives you an assistance whenever you want to open a Python file. So let's click on next and install. Alright, so the download is completely finished now. It gives me an option to reboot right now, but because I'm recording, I want to reboot manually later. So let's finish this up and open up Pycharm. So if you open up Pycharm for the first time, it may not show you this input. For me, it shows it because I already have installed Python and Pycharm. So it says, do you want to import any settings or configs? I want to say, do not import any settings. So let's open it up then. Alright, so welcome to Pycharm. Here you have a few options. First, to start a new project, to open a project, and so on. Let's press on new project here. Let's name it Python 101 because this is our first project. Here we have the location of it. Here we have something about Git and a welcome script. It doesn't matter here. The second option, which is very important, actually the third option, which is very important, is the interpreter type and the Python version. Do not forget to select the Python version that we installed here. Guys, if you check the boxes completely correct, it shows up here and you can select it. So the Python version would be the Python version we installed from python.org. So do not forget to select that. And after that, all you need to do is press on create. So the first time that you're making a project or starting a project, it might take a while. So don't worry about it. For the second time or the other times that you just open it, it is definitely going to be a lot faster. So let's wait for it to finish indexing and installing. Alright, so the setup is completely finished. As I told you, for you it might take a little bit longer or maybe a little bit faster, but it doesn't matter because it is the first time and the whole project is just getting set up, so it takes a few minutes or so. So for beginning, let's start a new Python file. Here, if we start a Python, we create a Python file. Let's name it main. And here we can see the file which is created. So if you press on it, it opens it. So this is our file and I want to write our first line of code. Let's write print hello world here. Sorry about that. Let's write hello world here. So if I go ahead and run that, you can see in the terminal we have hello world. But this looks a little bit small, right? So let's go to the settings and let's make some changes. The first one is to go to editor, the font section of it, and let's make this a little bit bigger. So 16 would be good. Okay, yeah, it's better actually. So look at this line of code and compare it to the ones we wrote with CMD. So look at this one. Okay, let's open up another CMD then. So this is the CMD all over again, and let's type Python and let's run a command here. So print hello world. Alright, so look at this guy and compare it with this one. This one has a lot of syntax highlighting in it. The parentheses are white, the text is actually green, the print function itself is something like purple or so, but here all of them have the same color. The readability of this one is actually a lot much more better. So whenever you're coding, whenever you're actually making a website, creating a website, you may have to write thousands of lines of code. So you need this syntax highlighting. It can actually be very helpful to you and it can help you to increase your speed. So I think that's it for today. We have installed Pycharm completely correctly and we are ready to start our Python series. Guys, do not forget to say any ideas or any suggestions in the comment section. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for the second episodes. Good luck.